Congressman Salmon, it's a pleasure to be in downtown Gilbert with you, and we've walked around and I've showed you some of the new and exciting places to eat. We went by Hale Theater and also showed you where St. Xavier University will be located in the future. We as Gilbert residents wanted to thank you. In the district, which is very large, you had many places that you could pick, and you picked downtown Gilbert. And we're just honored to have you here, and thank you for being part of the vibrancy of downtown Gilbert. And as Gilbert residents might be down here to eat at Euro Cafe or going up to the art intersection, they'll be able to find the office with your name on it and to come on in and feel welcome. Welcome to what we are calling a takeoff from Washington, D.C., Face the Nation, but in Gilbert we call it Face Gilbert. I am today's host, Gilbert Mayor John Lewis, and we are pleased to welcome as our guest, representing the 5th Congressional District of Arizona, Congressman Matt Salmon. Congressman Salmon, it's a pleasure to be here with you, and I guess when I say I'm the host, in just a moment we'll describe where we are, and really you are the host because the 2013 year, a lot of exciting things have happened that Gilbert residents have seen where you're out in the community making great things happen. We had a town hall meeting in Trilogy a few months ago, and then Congressman Salmon was kind enough to be our keynote speaker at our recent community patriotic music program. And so it seems like you are everywhere, and we appreciate that. But today, we are in a special place. We are in your district office, and Gilbert residents, some know where this Gilbert district office is. Ooh, I just let that out, Gilbert. Some know where the district office is, but many don't. Where are we right now?
Right now we're in Gilbert, and I don't know if a lot of the folks in Gilbert know where the Euro Cafe is, on Gilbert Road between Guadalupe and Elliott on the east side of the street, but we're right above the Euro Cafe in that little complex.
So if a Gilbert resident just happened to be in this area, maybe they're down at Euro Cafe eating.
Right.
Maybe they go try the new place around the corner, the SoCal Fish Tacos. Maybe they're up here to see the art intersection. All of a sudden they see on the door Congressman Matt Salmon. Could they just come in?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In fact, we're here. It's not really my office. It's the people's office. And we welcome anybody, regardless of what party they belong to. Whether they voted for me or not, we don't care. We'd like them to come in, and if they're having issues or problems with the federal government, whether it's with Social Security or Veterans Administration or IRS, that wonderful group back in Washington, D.C., or if they just want to come in and give their opinion on some of the issues of the day, some of the things that I might be voting on, they're more than welcome to come in.
Thank you, and I realize in our district we have some great communities, Mesa, Chandler, Queen Creek, and I guess at the heart of the district is Gilbert, and so this was the spot to be.
Well, for a lot of reasons, we decided that we wanted to put the office in Gilbert. Gilbert had never before had a congressional office from any congressman, and I thought it was about time. But the other thing is, when you look at some of the things that have been happening with Gilbert, the wonderful growth, the great education, the business opportunities, I could go on and on and on. I just thought it was a great place to have our office.
And here it is right in the heart of the district in Gilbert. And from a personal perspective, I give some memories that many years ago, I had the privilege of working in Washington, D.C. for United States Senator, and then I was able to also, on a part-time basis, be in that senator's local office back in the state.
Right.
And I was able to see firsthand some of the things that could happen to benefit the residents. And so I think I'll have you go back and talk a little bit about this office. And if an individual has an issue that's related to the federal government, if there's a casework assignment, what could they do to look for some help and guidance, and what will this office provide right here in the heart of Gilbert?
Well, first and foremost, if somebody, because of the ethical rules, if somebody wants us to intervene and open a case for them and work on their issue, whether it's with Social Security Administration, maybe they're having a problem, getting their Social Security check, or Maybe there's an issue with disability that's not been resolved, or with Veterans Affairs, same kinds of things. Maybe the VA hasn't responded to them, and they're dealing with an illness or a problem, and they don't feel like they're getting adequate attention, or dealing with the IRS. Maybe the IRS is taking too much money from them and hasn't returned it, or maybe they're threatening people with an audit or something like that. Maybe it's an immigration issue. Maybe they have a relative that wants to come visit them and get a visa, and maybe the folks dealing with immigration aren't dealing with them in good faith. Well, then they would come in to our office, and they would sit down with one of our folks, and they would have to sign a document that says, I give this office permission to build a case file and start working on my behalf. And then we begin the work, and we start trying to help be their advocate, try to help them. We're not a substitute for a lawyer. If it's a legal problem or something like that, we can't do that. We're not, and I think that confuses a lot of people. But we are here to help folks that are having issues with their government. We've had some really, really great successes. They bring tears to your eyes. I mean, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where individuals' lives sometimes hang in the balance. And when you're able to come in and make a difference in their life, that's the best part of this job, by far. I had a situation, and I'll mention the name to you. I don't want to embarrass them on camera, but some folks that you and I both know very well are having a serious issue with the IRS. And the IRS had a bunch of their money. I mean, a bunch. We're talking several $1 million that the IRS had taken. This family business was in pretty difficult financial situation. And that money was the difference between whether or not they kept their doors open or not. And the IRS didn't have a right to that money. When times were really good, they overpaid, and the IRS owed them this money. We got involved with them. This had been going on 3 years for them. After I got involved and I personally talked to the folks at the IRS, it was resolved within about 2 months, and they got their money back. And it made the difference between whether or not they had to
keep open as a business, which is
keep open the business, keep jobs, or sell a lot of their property to just keep the business afloat. And something, I take pride in that. I'm really happy we're able to help folks like that.
Thank you. And back from that personal experience, I was able to see that the team members here also, they know who to contact, and sometimes it's not even to open up a case assignment and make it real formal. It's just a matter sometimes of saying, after they listen, to say, we know exactly who to call, we'll make that first call for you, or here's a number to call. And so this can be a very helpful office for Gilbert residents.
It can, Mayor, and I've had several people that, we get a lot of folks that come in that are veterans. And I know you and I share the same feeling. If somebody has fought for our country and risked their life and limb, for our freedoms, those are people that we should treat like gold, right? I mean, we should do everything we can to try to make sure that that they're taken care of, that they're treated right and fairly. But a lot of people that call the Veterans Administration and they need help, they just summarily get turned down on the first blush. They have an illness and they need to be treated. They get turned down. They need a disability rating, because they can't work because of an injury they sustained while in the service of our country. They go apply, they get turned down. So they come to us and we get involved, and we're able to turn a lot of that around. Not always. Sometimes I get really, really disappointed. But a lot of those folks we're able to make the difference for. And I would hope that if they're listening out there and they're having a problem, that they come in and talk to us. We'll do our best. We don't always, you're dealing with government. It's really frustrating a lot of times. And it's not always fair. And that frustrates us too. But our job is to do the best darn job we can to try to advocate for them.
And I like how you said it, where this district office, it has your name on the front door, and yet, as you said, this is the office of the Gilbert residents and those in the district. And so,
absolutely,
I'm glad we're having this opportunity to make sure they know where it's at.
That's right.
And I make note, this is more to thank you as a compliment, because from an economic development standpoint, we have seen when we are, in a sense, competing with other states
Right.
for opportunities, that the bipartisan leadership of our congressional leaders has been so important. And I know in your first few years of service back in Washington, D.C., you had worked closely with other congressional leaders.
Yeah.
And then it kind of changed, and yet you've come back and you've done something very simple. You've called together the team for breakfast.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think that when you get together in a setting where it's not a committee hearing or something like that, and it's more than that. We do breakfast, and we also get together every month or every other month for a social time where we get chips and dips and things like that, and we invite all the staff from the delegation to come, and all the delegation members, and we interact, and we're trying to build that friendship and that camaraderie, because while we may differ widely on national and foreign policy, when it comes to doing things that benefit Arizona, we've all got to be singing from the same sheet of music, and we got to work together. And I think we're doing that pretty well.
And I emphasize that for Gilbert residents, that from an economic development standpoint, when the entire congressional leadership is together, it's very powerful for a state, and we have enjoyed that the last few months, so thank you.
It is. We have 5 members of the Democrat Party that are members of our delegation, and 4 Republicans. And I've seen us be very, very cohesive, and I think it was just, like I said, a simple thing. Ed Pastor and I agreed, let's start doing those delegation breakfasts again. And we talk about things that are mutually important, and I think it's just really important to realize that while some on the left of the spectrum have different views on what's best for America, I want to say this really pointedly and unequivocally. My experience is they love America just as much as I do, just have a different idea on what's best for America. And you know what? While I might disagree with them, and I might even very animatedly speak my opposition to their views on the floor, it's not personal. It's simply, exercising our right to debate. That's what makes America great.
Gilbert residents, I think down to 2 final questions for today. And this one's not even fair to ask, so I'll just put the question out there, and then I'll tell this Gilbert resident, look for you downtown Gilbert. Where's your favorite place to eat in downtown Gilbert? Now that when you're not in Washington, D.C., you're down here in Gilbert. And so I simply say to our Gilbert residents, come down to downtown Gilbert.
There's lots of them down here.
There's lots of them down here, and you'll see Congressman Salmon eating in one of the spots, and go up and introduce yourself. So that one's taken care of. The other one, start of football season. Of course, Gilbert residents are wanting to know your predictions on the Arizona Cardinals and Arizona State football team. Any prediction?
Well, you and I talked about it beforehand. I'm an ASU graduate myself, and I bleed maroon and gold, but and maroon and white, maroon and gold. I want you to know that I'll do everything I can to try to forward ASU, as I know you do too. But I think that they're going to. Well, I'm going to make a prediction right now. I think they're going to be the PAC champions.
Noted right here on Face Gilbert from Congressman Salmon. Thank you. It's been a pleasure to have you on this episode of Face Gilbert, where I thought I could announce I was the host, but in reality, you were the host side. And so I guess together it was a good team effort. And Congressman Salmon, thank you so much for your leadership.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it very much.